get off that bus at Lackland, you need to be ready to train.
Sound off with here, sir, when you hear your name. Arthur.
Yes, sir.
Davis.
Yes, sir.
First thing you're going to learn here is how to follow simple instructions.
I tell you to do something, you do it in a split second. You got that?
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
You got that?
Yes, ma'am.
It's not okay.
Okay, it's not a word.
Now we're going to proceed in a single file line. You are going to go first. You're going to follow me. When the last airman in this element goes, you go.
Hurry up! Let's go!
I cannot believe this. Johnson and Bailey! What's wrong with this picture?
Colonel Teresa A. Steele, Commander, 737th Training Group, and Lieutenant Colonel Laura J. Monroe, Education Advisor. Thank you. Please be seated. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Brigadier General Barry W. Barksdale, Commander of the 37th Training Wing, and Colonel Teresa A. Steele, Commander of the 737th Training Group, welcome you to a basic military training graduation parade. The airmen who will pass in review today are nearing completion of a demanding 6-week program that provides Air Force units throughout the world with trained airmen. Part of this training includes the time-proven concepts of military custom and tradition, of which this parade is a vital part. Their military training instructor will lead each flight. These men and women are responsible for the training, morale, and well-being of each airman assigned to their flight. Your attention is also invited to the Drum and Bugle Corps, who are providing the musical support for today's ceremony. These airmen too are in basic training, but have volunteered their time and effort to provide the musical skill required for military ceremonies of this type. We are extremely proud of all these young men and women who have answered our country's call to duty by joining the United States Air Force. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand and salute our national flag as the color guard detail marches into place. Thank you. Please be seated. Today we give special recognition to one of the Air Force's finest commissioned officers, Lieutenant Colonel Laura J. Monroe. During this morning's ceremony, Colonel Monroe will bring to a close a long and most distinguished military career with over 20 years of faithful and dedicated service to her country. Colonel Monroe, your common sense leadership style and total devotion to the United States Air Force has been an inspiration to us all. Your contributions will have a lasting impact. We wish you and your husband Roy the very best in your future endeavors. You will be truly missed. Colonel Steele will now decorate and retire Lieutenant Colonel Monroe. Citation to accompany the award of the Meritorious Service Medal 2nd Oak Leaf Cluster to Laura J. Monroe. Lieutenant Colonel Laura J. Monroe distinguished herself in the performance of outstanding service to the United States as Commander, 737th Training Support Squadron, 737th Training Group, 37th Training Wing, Lackland Air Force Base, Texas, from 23 February 1996 to 31 July 1998. During this period, Colonel Monroe's outstanding leadership skills and relentless drive to improve the quality of training contributed immeasurably to the success of the 737th Training Group. Her strategic efforts to conceptualize the design and implementation of the field training experience, as well as the curriculum re-engineering program, led to the creation of a Warrior Week of Training. Her full-throttle leadership and can-do attitude also made possible the obtaining of 41 additional manpower authorizations for basic military training. Thinking in terms of tomorrow, she pooled labor and technical talent from communications, civil engineering, active and Air National Guard units to redirect $495,000 to technology upgrades, making worldwide desktop communications a reality. Additionally, Colonel Monroe also increased productivity and totally integrated the 737th Training Group's electronic infrastructure. The singularly distinctive accomplishments of Colonel Monroe culminate a distinguished career in the service of her country and reflect great credit upon herself and the United States Air Force. Department of the Air Force, Headquarters, Washington, D.C., Special Order Number AC 004443. Lieutenant Colonel Laura J. Monroe is relieved as Education Advisor for the 737th Training Group, 37th Training Wing, Lackland Air Force Base, Texas, and from the Air Force effective 1 August 1998 to be retired under the provisions of Title 10, U.S. Code 1405, and Air Force Instruction 36-3203 in the grade of Lieutenant Colonel by order of the Secretary of the Air Force, signed Michael E. Ryan, General, United States Air Force, Chief of Staff. Certificate of Appreciation from the United States Air Force. This is to certify that Roy Monroe, on the occasion of the retirement of his wife from the United States Air Force, has earned grateful appreciation for your own unselfish, faithful, and devoted service. Your unfailing support and understanding helped make possible your wife's lasting contribution to the nation on this, the 31st day of July, 1998. Signed, Michael E. Ryan, General, United States Air Force, Chief of Staff. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for our invocation to be given by Chaplain Richard Rosenfeld.
Let us pray. God of grace and peace, as we celebrate the career and the retirement of Lieutenant Colonel Laura Monroe and the graduation of these sharp flights of new airmen, we thank you for Colonel Monroe's service to her country and for the gracious, thoughtful way she supported us at the 737th Training Group. Bless her with a long, fulfilling retirement and with abundant joy. Grant success in tech school, safety in all endeavors, and proud and honorable Air Force careers to each of today's graduates for the defense of the United States of America and for the cause of freedom and liberty in the world. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Rosenfeld. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Our commander of troops for today's ceremony is Senior Master Sergeant Dion Bivens. Colonel Steele will review today's ceremony.
Let's go! Have your squadrons parade rest. in place, sound off. Give your squadrons attention. Give your squadrons present arms. Staff, present arms.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the playing of our national anthem. Thank you. Please be seated.
Staff, order. Sir, the parade is formed. Receive the report. Take your post. Give your squadrons order arms. Receive the report. Report. Sir, all present or accounted for. Publish the orders. Attention to orders. Detail for today. Officer of the day, Lieutenant Colonel Monroe, by command of Brigadier General Barksdale. Officers, center, come. officers, post! Ho! Give your squadrons, present arms! Staff, change post. Up. Man, I present the command. Staff, order, halt. Staff, change post, halt. Give your squadrons order arms.
Ladies and gentlemen, the graduating airmen passing in review today represent a portion of the 34,000 recruits who will complete basic military training this year. Lackland, the gateway to the Air Force, and the 737th Training Group provide all recruits the essential military training to become motivated members of the enlisted corps of the greatest Air Force in the world. This training provides airmen to all components of the Air Force, regular, Air National Guard, and Air Force Reserve. This is accomplished through a rigorous 6-week course which is programmed on a 24-hour day. The military training instructors are responsible for the indoctrination, development, and discipline of the airmen. These men and women who wear the distinctive blue campaign hats have unselfishly accepted that responsibility. They have dedicated endless hours to ensure that these training objectives are met. Today's graduates have proven through academic studies, military training, physical conditioning, and the development of teamwork concepts that they are ready to take their place in the United States Air Force. In addition to the daily demands placed on these flights, they also participated in the rigorous competition for the coveted award of Honor Flight. Recognition as a Squadron Honor Flight is a distinct accomplishment that only a limited number of flights are able to achieve. Today's Honor Flights will be recognized by the Honor Flight streamer carried on their squadron guidon. We would also like for you to notice our national, state, and territorial flags. As you can see, the flag mass is a unique formation within our ceremony this morning. The airmen in this formation were selected for the distinct privilege of carrying our national, state, and territorial flags. Leading them in review is our national flag. As these flags pass in front of you, please stand and render the appropriate courtesies for our national flag and remain standing for the state and territorial flags. Now passing in review is our Commander of Troops, Senior Master Sergeant Dion Bibbins, Chief, Academics Flight, hometown, Detroit, Michigan. DA Squadron Commander is Master Sergeant Theodore Age, Section Supervisor, Academics Flight, hometown, New Orleans, Louisiana. Flight 459 from the 323rd Training Squadron, led by Staff Sergeant Charles Farnsley, hometown, Fort Worth, Texas. Flight 460 from the 323rd Training Squadron is led by Senior Airman Timothy Thigpen, hometown, Atlanta, South Carolina. Flight 463 from the 323rd Squadron, led by Staff Sergeant John Mitchell, hometown, Colorado Springs, Colorado. Flight 464 from the 323rd Training Squadron, led by Senior Airman Joe Navarro, hometown, San Benito, Texas. Flight 467 from the 321st Training Squadron, led by Staff Sergeant Carla Andrews, hometown, Aransas Pass, Texas. Flight 468 from the 321st Training Squadron, led by Senior Airman Erskine McMickle, hometown, Hattiesburg, Mississippi. The flights carrying our national, state, and territorial flags are from the 331st Training Squadron. Flights 465 and 466, led by Senior Airman Christopher Kidd, hometown, Dearborn, Michigan, and Senior Airman Scott Fulmer, hometown, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The B Squadron Commander is Master Sergeant Gene Roach, Superintendent Resource Management, hometown, Council Bluffs, Iowa. Flight 462 from the 320th Training Squadron, led by Staff Sergeant Carlos Miramontes, hometown, El Paso, Texas. Flight 455 from the 322nd Training Squadron, led by Senior Airman Anthony Key, hometown, Toledo, Ohio. Flight 456 from the 322nd Training Squadron, led by Staff Sergeant Kelly Cortland, hometown, Montague, Michigan. Flight 457 from the 322nd Training Squadron, led by Staff Sergeant James Worstel III, hometown, Salisbury, North Carolina. Flight 458 from the 322nd Training Squadron, led by Staff Sergeant James Yount, hometown, San Antonio, Texas. Musical support for this morning's ceremony has been provided by the 737 Training Group's Drum and Bugle Corps, Group Drill Competition winner, Flight B461, from the 320th Training Squadron, under the direction of Technical Sergeant Samuel Johnson, hometown, Stratford, Connecticut. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, please stand for the playing of the United States Air Force song. Instructor, take charge of the flights. Ladies and gentlemen, the graduated airmen will now march forward to recite the Oath of Enlistment. The Oath of Enlistment is a sworn oath in which these airmen pledge their lives for their country. It embodies the Air Force's core values and our highest appreciation for honor. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand. Major Eddie Douglas, commander of the 322nd Training Squadron, will now administer the oath of enlistment to our graduated airmen.
Airmen, raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I will obey the orders of the President of the United States and the orders of the officers appointed over me, according to the regulation and Uniform Code of Military Justice. So help me God. Congratulations. Welcome to the United States Air Force. Give them a round of applause.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain in place for the departure of our reviewing party.